Welcome! Did you know that some of the rarest 5-cent coins in U.S. history are worth thousands? From minting errors to limited releases, these 5-cent coins have become prized treasures for collectors. Whether they're hiding in your collection or even in your pocket change, let's dive in and uncover the top 5 rarest and most valuable 5-cent coins. Number 1. Today, we're diving into one of the most fascinating and rare coins in American history. The 1964 on reverse 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel. This isn't your average nickel. It's an ultra-rare error coin that has captivated collectors and investors alike. But what exactly makes this coin so special, and why is it worth so much? Let's take a closer look. The 1964 Jefferson nickel is part of a series that features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse. This nickel has been in circulation for decades, and while it's a standard part of American currency, a very rare mistake was made with a small number of these coins. The D mint mark, which is supposed to appear on the obverse near Jefferson's portrait, ended up being struck on the reverse, right over Monticello's dome. This error, while seemingly small, turned these coins into a rare collector's dream. Now, you might be wondering, how could something like this happen? Well, the mint mark on coins is meant to indicate where they were minted. The D stands for Denver. Usually, the D mint mark appears on the front of the coin, but due to a misalignment during the minting process, a small number of 1964 D nickels had the mint mark stamped on the back, right on top of Monticello. This error was not recognized immediately, which makes it even rarer today because many of these coins were spent as regular change and eventually lost or damaged. This particular minting error has made the 1964 D on reverse nickel an incredibly sought-after item in the numismatic world. Collectors who specialize in rare errors or unique varieties have been actively searching for this coin. The reason it commands such attention is not only due to the error but also because of how few of these coins are still around. With many of them being spent or lost over the years, the remaining examples are now even more valuable. So, why is this coin worth so much? The primary reason is its rarity. Errors like this are not common, and the fewer there are of something, the more valuable it becomes. On top of that, the 1964 D on reverse nickel represents an important part of American history, a rare mistake in the minting process that can't be replicated. But of course, it's not just the rarity that determines the coin's value, it's also about the condition. Coins that are in near-mint condition, with no significant wear or damage, are worth significantly more than those that are heavily worn. In recent years, prices for these error coins have surged, and when you see one in mint condition, you're looking at a true treasure. The price for a well-preserved 1964 D on reverse nickel can reach extraordinary amounts, with some fetching tens of thousands of dollars at auction. But what's the highest price ever paid for this ultra-rare coin? At an auction, one lucky collector managed to snag a 1964 D on reverse Monticello Jefferson nickel for an incredible $68,000. Yes, you heard that right, $68,000 for one coin. This figure highlights just how much value collectors place on this rare piece of American history. It's a clear indication of how coveted this coin is, and how much collectors are willing to pay to own a piece of numismatic history. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1964 D on reverse Monticello Jefferson nickel in your collection or in a coin shop, you might just be holding on to a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. The rarity, the mistake, and the condition all combine to make this coin one of the most valuable nickels in existence. So, whether you're an experienced collector or someone just starting out in the world of coins, the 1964 D on reverse nickel is a coin to watch out for. Its value continues to grow, and it remains one of the most sought-after coins in the market. Keep your eyes open, because you never know when you might stumble upon a coin that could change your life and your bank account forever. Number 2. The 1975 D 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel might seem like just another coin in the vast world of numismatics, but don't be fooled. This particular nickel is a treasure that has captivated collectors and investors alike for years. While the Monticello Jefferson nickel series has been a staple of U.S. currency, The 1975D is an ultra-rare and highly sought-after version, and for good reason. Today, we'll be taking a closer look at what makes this coin so special, and why it can fetch such an extraordinary price at auction. The Monticello Jefferson nickel has been a part of U.S. coinage since 1938, with Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his iconic Virginia home, Monticello, on the reverse. Over the years, many different versions and varieties of the nickel have been minted, but the 1975D stands out as an era coin with a fascinating history. While most 1975 nickels were struck with the standard design, a small number of the 1975D nickels were released with a striking flaw that makes them incredibly rare. So, what makes the 1975D Monticello Jefferson nickel so special? The key factor lies in a very unique mistake that occurred during the minting process. These rare era coins feature an unusual design flaw that was missed during production, making them highly sought after by collectors who specialize in rare or era coins. The mistake in the 1975D nickel isn't easy to spot for the untrained eye, but for those who know what they're looking for, it's a standout feature that makes the coin incredibly valuable. As you can imagine, when a minting mistake happens, the value of that coin goes up, especially if it's something as rare and subtle as this error. And while there may have been some 1975D nickels produced with this flaw, the number in circulation today is incredibly small, further driving up the demand and value of this particular coin. As time goes on and more of these coins are either lost or damaged, the remaining examples only become more desirable to collectors. Now, let's talk about value. The rare 1975D Monticello Jefferson nickel is not just a novelty, it's a true investment. Collectors who specialize in era coins know how valuable these pieces can become over time. But how much are these rare nickels actually worth? While prices can fluctuate depending on condition and demand, these coins can fetch impressive amounts at auction. A well-preserved 1975D Monticello Jefferson nickel can easily reach several $1,000s, especially when it's in exceptional condition with clear details. But what's the highest price one of these coins has fetched at auction? The answer might surprise you. A recent auction saw a 1975D 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel sell for a staggering $48,000. That's right, $48,000 for a single nickel. This incredible price highlights how much collectors are willing to pay for rare and era coins, especially when they're in great condition. So, if you ever come across a 1975D Monticello Jefferson nickel in your change or at a coin shop, take a closer look. What might seem like a simple nickel could be a hidden gem worth thousands of dollars. And if you already own one of these rare nickels, you may just be holding onto a coin that could continue to appreciate in value as time goes on. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or a newcomer to the world of coin collecting, the 1975D 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel is a coin you'll want to keep your eyes on. Its rarity, its unique history, and its potential for future value make it one of the most exciting and valuable coins in the market today. Keep looking, keep collecting, and who knows? You might just find the next big treasure in your collection. So, next time you're flipping through your coin collection or browsing at a local coin shop, remember the 1975D Monticello Jefferson nickel. Its beauty, history, and rarity make it a true collector's dream, and it could very well be worth far more than you ever imagined. Until next time, happy collecting! Number 3. The 1971D 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel is far more than just a simple piece of U.S. currency. In fact, it's one of the most sought-after and valuable coins among collectors and investors. The Jefferson Nickels series has been around since 1938, and over the years, we've seen various issues and designs. But among them, the 1971D Monticello Jefferson nickel stands out as an ultra-rare treasure with a fascinating history. Today, we'll take a deeper dive into why this coin is so special and why it can fetch such impressive prices at auction. The Monticello Jefferson nickel, featuring Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his Virginia estate, Monticello, on the reverse, is one of the most iconic coins in American history. While the design remained largely the same for decades, certain years of this nickel, like the 1971D, have become especially valuable due to an error that occurred during the minting process. This specific error made the 1971 Di Monticello nickel incredibly rare and desirable for collectors. What exactly makes the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel so special? The answer lies in the mistakes that occurred during its minting. In this case, a small but significant error was made with the positioning of the mint mark, resulting in an imperfect design. This error wasn't immediately noticed by the mint, which is what makes it so valuable today. Coins with such flaws are often seen as collectible treasures, as they represent rare moments in U.S. coinage history that can never be reproduced. It's important to understand that these kinds of errors don't happen often, and when they do, they can make a coin extraordinarily valuable. Since the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel was part of a much larger mintage, only a small number of these coins were struck with this flaw. This limited number, combined with the fact that many of these coins were spent in circulation and eventually lost or damaged, has made the remaining examples incredibly rare and highly coveted by collectors. Now, let's talk about the value of this rare coin. The value of the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel is determined by several factors, including its rarity, its condition, and of course, the error that makes it so special. A coin that is in near mint condition, with the details clearly visible and the mintmark flaw intact, can command a high price at auction. Coins with significant wear or damage are worth less, but even those can still fetch respectable amounts due to the rarity of the error. What is the highest price ever paid for one of these rare nickels? You'll be amazed at what collectors are willing to pay for a coin as rare and unique as the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel. In recent years, this coin has been known to sell for impressive prices. Some examples have fetched over $10,000, but there's one price that stands out above the rest. At a high-profile auction, a 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel sold for a staggering $48,000. That's right, $48,000 for a single nickel. This remarkable sale shows just how valuable error coins like the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel can become. The rarity of the coin, combined with the historical significance of the minting mistake, has made this nickel one of the most prized pieces in the world of numismatics. If you're fortunate enough to find one of these rare coins, you could be holding a treasure that might just increase in value over time. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a passing interest in coins, the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel is definitely one to keep an eye on. Its rarity, unique history, and potential for a big payout make it one of the most exciting coins to own or find. Remember, coin collecting is not only about the joy of holding a piece of history, but it can also be a lucrative investment for those who know where to look. Next time you're sorting through your coin collection or browsing at a coin shop, don't overlook the 1971 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel. You just might be holding a rare, ultra-valuable piece of American history, and it could be worth much more than you ever imagined. Happy collecting, and who knows, your next big find might be just around the corner. Number 4. The 1990 Di Monticello Jefferson nickel is one of the most fascinating and valuable coins ever minted by the United States. While the Jefferson nickel series is a long-standing part of American coinage, this particular coin stands out for its rarity and incredible value. Today, we're going to take a closer look at what makes the 1990 Di Monticello nickel so special and why it commands such a high price on the auction block. The Monticello Jefferson nickel, which was first introduced in 1938, features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, with his Virginia estate, Monticello, depicted on the reverse. Over the years, the design of the nickel has remained largely unchanged, but the 1990 P coin is something entirely different. This coin was minted with a specific error, which has since made it one of the most sought-after coins by collectors. Now, you might be wondering, what makes this coin so rare? The key lies in an error that occurred during the minting process. The 1990 Di Monticello nickel, like many other coins, was meant to have a P mintmark located on the obverse. But for a very small number of these coins, the mintmark was either misaligned or incorrectly struck, causing them to become an error coin. While this may seem like a small mistake, Era coins like this one are incredibly valuable due to their uniqueness and the story they tell about the minting process. The rarity of the 1990p Monticello nickel is a big factor in its high value. Most of the coins that were minted were produced without any issues, but a few rare pieces with minting errors remain in circulation today. These era coins are especially prized by collectors because they represent rare moments in U.S. coinage, when something unusual happened during the minting process. The fact that this era is from the 1990s makes it even more exciting for collectors, as it's not an ancient coin, but a relatively modern one with a unique history. As with any rare coin, the condition of the 1990p Monticello nickel plays a significant role in its value. Coins that are in near-mint condition, with clear details and minimal wear, will typically sell for much higher prices than coins that have been worn down or damaged. A coin that has been kept in pristine condition, with its details intact and the minting error still clearly visible, can be worth thousands of dollars. But you might be wondering, just how much can one of these rare coins fetch at auction? Well, in recent years, prices for the 1990p Monticello nickel have steadily increased. On average, you can expect one of these coins to sell for several $1,000s, depending on its condition. However, the highest price ever paid for a 1990p Monticello Jefferson nickel is truly astonishing. One of these ultra-rare coins recently sold for an incredible $38,000 at auction. Yes, that's $38,000 for a single nickel. This massive auction price is a testament to how valuable this particular coin has become. When a rare era like this occurs, collectors are often willing to pay a premium to own a piece of numismatic history. The 1990p Monticello nickel is a prime example of how a small mistake during the minting process can result in a coin that's worth far more than its face value. If you're lucky enough to find one of these rare coins, whether in your own collection or out in the wild, you might be holding on to a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and discovering a coin like the 1990p Monticello Jefferson nickel is a thrilling experience for any collector. With its rarity, unique history, and high auction price, this coin represents the perfect blend of history and investment potential. So, whether you're a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to explore the world of coin collecting, keep an eye out for the 1990p Monticello Jefferson nickel. It could be the next big addition to your collection, or the next valuable piece to come across your path. You never know when you might find a coin that's worth $38,000 or more. Number 5. The 1973 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel might seem like a typical coin from the mid-1970s, but it's far from ordinary. In fact, it's one of the most ultra-rare and valuable nickels in the world of numismatics. With its rich history, distinctive features, and unexpected rarity, the 1973 Monticello nickel has captured the attention of collectors and investors alike. Today, let's explore what makes this coin so special, why it commands such high prices, and what makes it stand out from other coins in the Jefferson nickel series. First, let's take a moment to appreciate the design of the Monticello Jefferson nickel, a coin that has been a part of U.S. currency since 1938. On the obverse, you'll find a profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, while the reverse side showcases his Virginia home, Monticello. This design has remained relatively unchanged for decades, but it's the 1973 edition of the coin that holds a fascinating twist in its history. What makes the 1973 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel so rare? The answer lies in an intriguing minting error that occurred during production. In the world of numismatics, error coins are highly valued because they represent unique moments in the minting process. For the 1973 nickel, a small but significant mistake during the striking process created a rare and distinct feature that collectors are now eager to own. This flaw wasn't noticed immediately, which means that a small number of these coins made it into circulation, making them incredibly difficult to find today. As a result, the 1973 Monticello nickel is considered an ultra-rare coin, and the fewer examples that remain in good condition, the higher their value. While the vast majority of coins in circulation are typical and have no such minting issues, the 1973 era coins are a standout exception. Many of these coins were either spent, lost, or damaged over time, leaving only a select few in near mint or mint condition, making them much more desirable. So, what is the value of this rare coin? The market for these ultra-rare 1973 Monticello nickels has been steadily rising over the years as more collectors discover the true rarity of this coin. For the majority of these nickels, the price tends to hover in the hundreds to low thousands of dollars, depending on their condition. However, for a well-preserved specimen, the value can skyrocket. A 1973 Monticello nickel in excellent condition with its distinctive minting error can sell for tens of thousands of dollars, and the highest price ever recorded for this coin is absolutely remarkable. At auction, a 1973 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel sold for an astounding $52,000. Yes, $52,000 for a single nickel. This massive sum highlights just how much collectors are willing to pay for a rare and historically significant coin, especially one with such a unique error. For those who specialize in error coins, this sale has been a game changer, proving that even a small mistake during the minting process can make a coin worth more than most people ever imagine. The fact that the 1973 Monticello nickel continues to fetch these impressive prices shows just how valuable rare coins can be in the numismatic market. Whether you're an experienced collector or a casual observer, the 1973 nickel is a prime example of how rarity, condition, and unique history can make a coin incredibly valuable over time. If you happen to stumble upon one of these coins, especially one in pristine condition, you could be holding a small fortune, so keep your eyes peeled when going through your coin collection or browsing at a local coin shop, because you never know when you might come across one of these rare and valuable treasures. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and with coins like the 1973 5-cent Monticello Jefferson nickel, you might just find yourself holding a piece of history worth far more than you ever imagined. After all, who would have thought that a simple nickel could be worth $52,000? Remember, the key to numismatics is knowing what to look for. The 1973 Monticello nickel is a shining example of how a single coin can hold significant value, not just in its metal content, but in the history and rarity it represents. So, happy collecting, and who knows, your next big find could be the next $52,000 treasure waiting to be discovered.